Hey guys, it is Renee McLaughlin and Kiona Leah, Master Trainers. We're so excited, you guys. We're so excited to be here tonight. Normally, what are we talking about? Normally, we're talking T-Tapp workout, and we're still talking that tonight, but we're going to add something that, you know what, Kia, we have not talked about really in so long, and it is one of the jewels that Teresa left us, and that is her CRT system, the cellulite removal technique. And you guys, Kiona has been using it for what, 20 years?
Just 10? About over 15, over 15.
And has really done an amazing job and really putting together her secret sauce protocol. And just, it's amazing. And so, you know what, Key? I'm just turning it right over to you, girl. Go for it.
Thank you so much, Renee. I really appreciate that. And I got to tell you, I was the biggest skeptic of this system, which I think is part of the reason why I ended up as one of the only trainers that Teresa actually certified and had me go through the whole 9 yards regimen that we had to go through way back in the day to teach this as part of our T-Tapp events back, 15, 12 years ago. And I started T-Tapping like 17 or so years ago. And at first, I just wanted nothing to do with this system at all. I believe that I was stuck with my cellulite because of my German English heritage and my fair hair and my thin skin and all that stuff. And it was just, there was no point. In addition, I grew up as a baby of the cosmetic industry. My father was a chemist at Avon Cosmetics for 37 years. So if it was something about skincare, I probably knew it. I probably got a tester product. I probably already thought about it. 2 years into being a T-Tapp trainer, people kind of kept asking me about this system. And I thought, oh, I guess, all right, I should do something, right? I was lucky enough that Teresa was coming up here to Baltimore to the Women's Expo, and she was going to present the system on like a Sunday afternoon. So I thought, all right, I'm going to go to the clinic. 99 bucks. I get the system with it. It's the first time I bought it. I might as well go. And I really enjoyed it. There was a lot of great information in it. I sort of absorbed a lot of it, but my favorite thing was this little beauty right here, the brush. Absolutely. She showed us how to do this brushing technique. It felt really good. So I started using the brush, and I just kind of left these supplements over to the side, didn't care. I was like, whatever. A week later, I'm starting to see a difference. And I was shocked. And you know this, those that know me outside of Facebook land and outside of T-Tapp know I'm an engineer by trade, and engineers are very analytical and skeptical people by nature. But we also are really attuned to what works. So when I started seeing a difference, I called my dad because I'm like, hey, if I want to talk to somebody about this, let me ask Dad. Called him up, told him what was going on, and said, Dad, I've been using this little brush thing. At that point, it was like 10 days. And I said, I think I'm really seeing a difference. And he said to me, what we know in the cosmetic industry is in order to really reverse aging of the skin, you need to do a little bit of damage, not too much, just a little. From our perspective, we do it chemically using retin-A, retinol. That was a really big thing back then. And microdermabrasion was just starting to become a household word.
Right.
And he said, so yeah, if the brush has like stiff bristles, that would work. And I'm like, well, the brush is $11 back then. It was 11 bucks. And I'm like, and I can use it every day, no matter what. So at which point now I'm seeing results a couple weeks in. I'm like, well, maybe I should start taking those supplements. So this is how I really got attuned to working in the CRT system. But knowing that I was really in this place of having a lot of challenges because of my heritage and body type and all this other stuff, I really started absorbing and going back over and reviewing a lot of the stuff Teresa had said in that workshop. So I really started paying attention to this alfalfa product that we have and all of the skin benefits that it created, which is it's got high protein, it's plant protein, so it's absorbable by everybody, whether they have digestive issues, a sluggish digestive tract, vegan, vegetarian, any dietary restrictions, this stuff still provides you protein. And that's your main skin complex is protein. That's what your skin is really, that's what makes it snap back, that's what makes it hold together and all that good stuff. So I started really taking this. The other great thing about this, when you take extra alfalfa, or you at least start taking it, your hair gets thicker, your nails grow pretty. There's all these benefits that we're all looking for. And I started taking that, but I was really attuned to the fact that Teresa said, when you start this system, you need to make sure that you're going to be moving a lot of toxins. As you do this brushing, you're moving all that lymph that lives right underneath the skin is moving, and you need to make sure to support your body. She always said, help your body help itself. And what you really want to do when you're doing this, you want to drink an extra 20 to 32 ounces per day of water. Now, how many of us are really going to do that? Right? She was no slouch, though. She knew this, and so that's why she created this FiberTox product. She knew that people weren't going to drink all that extra water, because who has that kind of time? Who has that kind of focus and that ability to constantly be running back and forth?
Right.
So she created this product to help move out those extra toxins, because as you start this program, what ends up happening is the movement of the brushing, not only does it rough up that skin and do exactly what my dad said, which was to challenge it. So what I love is the design of the body is so smart. Think about what we do with our muscles, and when we have to deal with osteoporosis or osteopenia, what do? We're told you want to build muscle, you want to strengthen, you want to resistance train, you need to tug on bone, you need to tug on muscles, you need to challenge them. Then they get stronger, they get more resilient, and ultimately, in a lot of ways, more youthful. Your skin works exactly the same way.
Love this.
Right? So you challenge it.
One more thing, Kate, that goes along with the other thing that she talked about that now we're learning so much about, the fascia.
Exactly.
The fascia is bound up because we're not moving. Even just doing this along with it is also helping to hydrate the fascia, right? And that's like the sac that creates our, the shape that we're in.
Exactly. So it all works together, and it all is actually very similarly designed, which again makes sense. It's, sometimes they call it intelligent design. We have an intelligent design that things really systematically work in the same ways. So that's where I really started from, started brushing, fell in love with it, finally decided I ought to do these supplements, and started really seeing the benefits of them and what they brought to helping the body pull and tug on the fascia, rebuild from the inside out, move those toxins and that crud and crap out of the system. So this was really huge that I, saw such results. But there were more things that Teresa talked about in that workshop besides just that's your basic cellulite removal system. And of course, we've got the CDs and the DVDs. She's got a couple little exercises in there. And what she talks about is moving the lymph. So here's where things get a little interesting. What she taught in her clinics was start off, do primary back stretch or do your basic workout or do these couple exercises in the CRT DVD, and then do your brushing. Now, you know me, I can't just be educated, I got to be overeducated. So I started looking for other skincare practitioners, other people who were teaching natural skincare. And she used to say, you can find body brushing on the internet, go on there and you're going to see 40 minutes a day and you can get the supple skin.
Right.
So one of Teresa's things that were brilliant was she created this pattern or this sequence of brushing that followed the map of not only the lymphatic system and the fascia, but the nervous system. Nice. Because where the nerves go, the blood and the lymph follow. So you got to wake all of it up together. And I took some systems where they said, well, you really got to open up through the chest first, because once this is draining, then everything else can drain. And I went back to Teresa and said, well, but what about this? She said, yeah, except now you put your body into shock. The brush, when you're used to it, feels great. But I had one student from Richmond. She used to be like, she'd get a new brush every 3 months because she wanted to make sure she had stiff bristles when she was doing her brushing.
Oh, it's so hard. I have to go so lightly. I mean, it feels good is a bit of a stretch.
It is. But her thing was, she used to be like, and her name was Charity. I loved her to bits. And she used to be like,
I remember Charity.
Remember Charity? She was a dog.
She was
So that was one of the things so you do that and you put this up on your chest on this beautiful décolleté that has this soft, supple, wonderful skin, especially if we take good care of it. And all of a sudden you're like, ooh, and the body goes into this freeze mode where the nervous system just stops cold and now nothing moves. The lymph won't move, the fascia won't relax, nothing's going to happen. That's why we start on the palm of the hand. There's a reason behind it. That's why for the lower body, we start on the bottom of the foot. We start where the skin is thicker and the nerve endings are much more used to tactile feedback. Then we work our way to where we're not used to having a lot of interaction with the world on our skin.
Oh, so, that's fascinating. I didn't know that.
Cool? Yeah. And again, this was because I, as an engineer, I got to know how the whole system works and why the whole system works. So this is part of the brilliance of the design of not just working with the lymphatic system, which flows from extremities to your center, into your gut, and out through the body, eliminated that way. But it's also because the nervous system works a specific way as well. So other systems that say, no, start where you've got heavier amounts of lymph in your chest, in your groin, in these areas. That's why those don't work as well or as quickly, which is the other major thing that is so beautiful about this system and about some of these tips that I'm going to teach people, is that you can do this so fast. So I started looking at that. But one of the things that always was a little bit, from my experience, hard for me to balance and manage was the fact that Teresa said, do your workout first, then do your brushing.
Right.
And I went, but if I'm waking up my nervous system and I'm moving my lymph first using the brush, isn't that also beneficial? Right. So I decided, you know what? I got issues. I'm just going to do both. So I did. I would start up, and I still to this day, after more than 15 years, wake up 4 or 5 days a week, and this is the first thing I do. Wow. I walk into the bathroom, I go under the sink, I grab my brushes, and I brush, and it wakes me up better than coffee.
No kidding.
Fantastic. Then go do, I'll do a lot of my morning stretches or go do my morning workout and such like that. But then you're really revved up after. You can really feel the lymph moving. A lot of times you get more out of your workout because you're already slightly warmed up.
Right.
And then brush again. So I'm like, well, I'm just going to do both. And that's what I started doing. Brush before and after my workout. Major, major difference. And that, again, amped up those results that I was getting from my brushing right away.
Wow.
And so again, don't need anything extra. But now we also have these other products. We have these beautiful skincare products that Teresa had in that collection back 15 years ago. And that was our Skin Saver series. Right. Skin Saver Face, Skin Saver Body, and Skin Saver Solution. And I have learned all about essential oils and the benefits that they had for the skin and detoxing and supporting the body and supporting the liver and the lymphatic system before T-Tapp came along from my acupuncturist, who kind of got me into it to begin with. And here are these products that Teresa had researched, and they use all natural oils like olive or squalene oil and almond oil to help deliver this into the body.
Right.
Same thing. Sometimes I would just buy the straight up oil. And if I really, really, really was in a tough spot, I'd put a little bit in the palm of my hand, and then I'd start the brushing sequence, because now you're just slightly moving it all the way through that lymphatic system in that same pattern.
Oh, that's so smart. I love that.
So it made a huge difference, And Teresa always talked about one of the major things that she would do with the models when they were trying to battle cellulite and they had like a bathing suit shoot, was send them into the ocean. Right. And that's when she used to talk about the Dead Sea mineral salts that we would have. And that's another product that's in some of our secondary lines. And she would recommend to take a bath. So I started doing that. And I was doing the baths 3 days a week.
Wow.
And I was talking to a client just earlier today. She's probably on this Facebook Live. And she was saying, well, don't you have to do it like when you're already wet? And I was like, no, before my bath. I like to do my baths, especially at the end of the day, relax, unwind, such like that. So that was now a 3rd time in a day that I was doing my brushing.
Wow.
Which starts to add up, right? Because the brushing sequence in the CRT DVD is 8 minutes long.
Right.
8 minutes doesn't sound bad, but when you're going 8 minutes, 16 minutes,
Right. That's a lot.
minutes, now you're like, whoa.
It's a commitment. Right. Okay.
It started to get a little bit much.
Right.
And so I started going in the DVD. She says 4 to 8 strokes, whatever you're doing, 4 to 8 strokes. And I went, well, it only takes 5 minutes if I do 4 instead of 8. Let me do that. So I cut that back. I'm teaching this clinic, and you know, just like I do, that we learn as much from being an educator as we do from going out and being educated. You learn as much from your students as they learn from you, if you really pay attention and put your heart into it. So I was teaching this after Teresa certified me, and I requested it and got my videos into her and the whole 9 yards. I'm teaching this clinic on the CRT system, and I have this lovely woman. You remember Boot Camp Dan?
Yes.
His wife was in my clinic on Sunlight, had come down from Delaware. He'd driven her down, and I was talking about it, and she goes, well, you know what? You know what you do? Use 2 brushes. Ta-da! That's where I got the idea. It was totally not my own. It was totally Phyllis's idea to use 2. So from then on, I always taught people use 2 brushes, because now, you know what? Not a lie. And you guys can time me, because I'm going to do this for you guys so you can see. Yes, you can. I got my brushing sequence down to 2 minutes. So now I can do it 3 times a day in less time than the DVD tells me how to do it. Totally.
Wow. Well, I can't wait to see this.
So check this out. I'm going to do this. I'm going to back up so you guys can see. And I'm going to move my chair out of the way.
Good enough. And I'm going to take this off our screen so we can see you completely.
Awesome. So yeah, so I made sure to wear something where you can really see, yes, I am. This is my skin. It's actually being subjected to this. So I feel like Teresa in her little blue outfit right here, her black and white outfit. So you start off when you do your brushing, like the sequence, you start off, and there are certain key places where you do want to do 8 strokes. So palm of the hand, you're still doing 8 strokes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Back of the hand. This is the place, if somebody is smart, that they will look to try and figure out your age if you tell them to guess your age. The backs of our hands get more exposure to sunlight than our face. This is actually where our skin ages the fastest. Never chintz the back of your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now from here, down the arm, you can just do 4 all the way around. Lifting up with the hand so the lymph drains towards the center of the body. For those that have that bat wing, you can do those circles right here. Here's another key place you don't want to skip because we've got lots of lymph right here. Down the armpit, 1, 2, 3, 4. Across, 1, 2, 3, 4. Repeat. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's where I'll go under the bust line to get this lymph moving that gets really stuck. And then back across, 1, 2, 3, 4. Use your good T-Tapp technique. Pull that elbow back. Engage that lat, lift that chest, then do across the chest 4 times.
Very
Starting
nice.
at the center, go up, and always same thing. It shows on your neck, go all the way up your chin, all the way around. Now you got to do the other side, same thing, 8 times.
Now, Key, I can actually even hear that brush. So
right?
are you going really lightly? Are you butterfly?
I do not. And you'll see this, especially when I get to my torso. You'll watch my skin. I don't know if you can see. I'll come a little closer. You can see the redness coming up. You can see my circulation coming up from doing it.
To the surface on purpose. So you're not butterfly winging it. You're kind of giving it. Okay, I got it.
No, not at all. I really, and that's part of being able to do it is, if that's too much, people can always start in the shower. It softens the bristles to get used to it. But I really encourage my clients, really get yourself to that place where you can go in there and really move the lymph.
I can't wait to try this. Okay, all right.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I got it.
Awesome. So down and across, same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pull that back. 1, 2, 3, 4. Up the chest. And then again, behind the back. You know, and again, this is just like from the arm sequence. When you get in there, you want to do your good stance. Bend those knees, round that tailbone underneath, using those muscles. Push back, and then from the shoulder blade to the spine on both sides to get the back and shoulders. Now, 2 brushes. Everything else, 2 brushes. Start at your hip bones, get your good T-Tapp stance, lift in those wrists, and go up all the way around.
Nice.
And then make sure, especially if your tummy here really gets challenged, now you got to go on, see, I still can't do it, 1 foot to actually do, and you do top and bottom of the foot simultaneously.
Oh, so smart. Yes.
And then the sides of the legs. If you have balance issues, I'm going to bring my chair back just so you can see that you can cheat a little, especially first thing on my 6 a.m. mornings, I got to cheat a little. Press down, press the ball joint in and go up, and then roll. Remember to roll that foot over to stretch the top of the foot. Again, anti-aging, release all that fascia, release all that lymph, and then go front and back of the leg. And then up the sides of the thighs. This is where I'll usually put my foot on the ground, push my body weight into it, up the side of the thigh, roll over again, underneath, circles. I got those short legs, this hip and booty thing going on, so I always got to do extra circles right here, and then all the way around and up the butt to end the sequence.
That was quick.
Yeah, I told you, it's 2 minutes. It takes so little time when you get practice. And now, you know, I'm awake, my nervous system's awake, everything's moving, everything's alive. Now I can go do my workout, get major benefits, do it again. But notice I also challenged myself for balance. I opened up my chest and did a little bit of our chest presses.
Right.
All these extra little movements get snuck in there. And when you have to do 2 brushes, you really have to challenge your balance. Like that's really a major thing.
I'm thinking too, from what you're doing, like I love it that you roll the toes over. You guys might not have been able to see her foot. So what she was talking about is rolling the foot over.
You go in this direction with the foot.
Exactly, in the knuckles. Here. And I'm thinking too, as you're doing that, that could really help people prevent plantar fasciitis, which is that inflammation in, you know, of the fascia of the plantar or the foot. So if you're doing that could also really help with that. It just dawned on me because I had somebody talk to me about that today. So the thing with the skin brushing is it's amazing in that, yes, it tightens the skin. It helps with cellulite. You can talk about that in a second. We're feeding it from the inside out. It's nervous system. It's great for autoimmune, great lymphatics and detoxing. I mean, it just has so many great benefits. I'm blown away by that.
Yeah, it's absolutely amazing. And this is what was so funny because I was such a skeptic for 6 months after I started this system and actually got into it. I sold more of these than I did workouts.
Yeah, because it's just so holistic and it works the whole body. It's just one of those things. And I always love when Teresa said that we're healing the body from the inside out. So again, we know how amazing the alfalfa is. It's also alkaline. So it helps alkalize, it helps move, and then the fiber tox. I love the whole thing. Share with me now, because when you and I talked a little bit earlier about when you first started, the picture that we have at the end where you're kind of like,
that's this one, the one on this side in the black behind me.
Correct. So weren't you in a bodybuilding contest or something with that?
So what this picture was, let me see if I can do the weather girl thing. There we go. So what this picture was at my gym in 2001, we did a program called Body for Life. People may or may not remember it. And what it was 6 days of exercise, 3 days of cardio, 3 days of weight training, doing that. And then they had like a specific diet that went with it that they kind of recommended. And I decided to enter this little contest because I wanted to lose some inches. I'd been working out at the gym for a couple of years at that point. My dad was a bodybuilder, so I'd grown up around weights and weight training. I always kind of understood that whole thing. And so I entered this contest and it was 12-week contest. So after about 6 weeks, I wasn't really seeing the results I wanted. So I worked with one of the trainers, and her primary focus with me was cleaning up my diet, which was great. So I got these awesome results and really lost a lot of inches. I really toned up. I really looked great. And this picture was an after picture from the contest because they took everybody in. They had a photographer, similar to how Teresa a lot of times would do things where she'd have contest winners. She would do their pictures for them. So this was the picture they did for me, which was a great picture. And I love how tiny my waist is and all that other stuff. But one of the things I noticed was like through here on the thighs, there's all these lines. And I want to say around 14% body fat at that point in
Wow.
time. Yeah, I had really dropped low. I dropped even lower after the contest because I got a little OCD on the whole thing. But I was really low right there. And you could still see all these bumps, all this crud under my skin, because the skin was really being compromised by those, the fake shakes they have you do and the high protein things. And, there's a lot of chemistry in bodybuilding sometimes. And my system did not approve.
Right.
So it was really showing up. And what's really scary is if you also look a little bit on these pictures, it's harder to see here, but I actually had a fake tan in this shot as well. So what's really scary is not only was I skinnier, but I actually had darker skin and I still looked that bad. And it was just sort of one of these like, well, that's why I had given up by the time I found T-Tapp on even worrying. I was like, I knew how skinny I'd been and I still had cottage cheese all over my thighs. Didn't matter if I was tan or not. I was just doomed. And so in 2004, which is the picture here in the blue, that's when I really, I think, started the cellulite system. It was probably about March of that year that I started doing this system. So this was I'm a T-Tapp trainer. I should get a before picture shot. And you can see I'm definitely a little bigger here than I was in this really skinny picture. But even still, I'd learned more about health and about lymph and all that movement. I already was seeing better results with my cellulite than anything. And then, of course, further over, that's my picture from 2009. Unfortunately, I lost my 2004 after picture, the immediate one. But you can see 5 years later how awesome. And then the very last picture in this series I took when we started this talk about these articles, I took this to show, yes, you can. It really will. Yeah, you can keep it off. Like I said, 4 or 5 days a week I brush. I still take my alfalfa very religiously, fiber tox on and off, depending on how I do. I still do my baths probably more like twice a month. So I do maintenance, but it's nowhere near of 3 times a day I'm brushing, 3 times a week I'm taking a bath, I'm taking all the supplements all the time, plus doing all the, and I still use the body oils. One of my tips for body oils, by the way, when we use any of them, but especially the Skin Saver ones, put it on while your skin's still wet when you've taken a warm shower, not a hot shower. So same thing with your bath. Warm, you want to open up those pores, but not hot, where you shut the system down, where it kind of panics a little because it's too warm. And with the blow your buns, Teresa always talked about, she called it blow your buns, which I also used when I was really going through this. Was she said, put it on and then use a blow dryer to warm it up. You want to heat it.
Right.
I never did that. I would put it on after a warm shower and be done with it.
Yeah, that always kind of concerned me because you never know. You don't want anybody getting burned. But even a hot water bottle or something on there, or one of the things you can microwave right with the beans and put it on there. You just need to heat it in a way that will open those pores. And that stuff works. One of the things that's so interesting about this whole system is that we've had it now for 20 years. I mean, Teresa had all these things on there for 20 years and they're simple, they're organic, they work with the body, right? And so it's kind of one of those things where, you almost take it for granted and just don't even think about it anymore, right? It's what's the next shiny thing? Now we're off to stem cells and more expensive things and invasive surgery, where we have this and it works now just as well as it worked 20 years ago. Actually, I think maybe especially as we're getting older, it even works even better. And the other thing is we're more toxic, because we've lived in this toxic society for 20 more years. We need this even more. We need help to keep detoxing our bodies on a daily basis.
And that's why consistency is key. It's not like I did it, got my results and, my 6 weeks to 2 months and then stopped. It was, okay, now I want to maintain, I want to keep going. That's why I love, the subscriptions that we have available for people. You can just automatically get your supplements, even your brush, you got to replace these once in a while. Don't be like me and be like, oh, wow, I've had these for 2 years. I should get new ones. We don't have to be like Charity and do it every 3 months, but at least six to 12 months,
Right.
replace your brushes
Exactly. Replace it.
and such like that. So,
Love
doing that to be consistent and make it a part of your routine, especially if, I just showed you guys how to do the brushing in 2 minutes. Come on, we all got 2 minutes. That's how long it takes. I can brush my whole body in the same amount of time I should be brushing my teeth in. Like,
Absolutely.
why would I not do this?
Love that. Now, Jackie had a quick question. I just want to make sure I get that in. And she said, do you ever put the essential oil on the brush?
No, I always put it on my hand and then I pick it up by using the brush this way.
Great idea.
Yeah, so I do it. I don't want to put it on it because it will break the cellulose fibers down faster. But if I want to detox it or clean it, like there are some mornings I wake up and I don't smell like a rose. So I want to make sure that doesn't stay on my brush. So that's when especially for that, I'll use the grapefruit oil because it's a little bit more detoxing and good at killing bacteria versus our lavender oil. So that tends to be what I use. But if I just want it to kind of wake me up and such like that, I will use the lavender, but I put it on my hand and then brush, and that gets it into the bristles enough.
That's beautiful. Do you use the Skin Saver solution on your hands sometimes?
Yeah.
That's a great one.
I love, and to be fair, that's actually what I generally use. I did the body, I did the face for a long time. And again, at one of these presentations, Teresa said, put it in whatever you want. And a few years ago, I fell in love with coconut oil for all the reasons. And it was probably at the retreat with all the extra added benefits that coconut oil allows you. So I started going out buying pure coconut oil, buy the Skin Saver solution, drop it in there, mix it up, and that's what I use now.
Beautiful. And I saw that Catherine asked, does it help for keloids? And it does. The Skin Saver solution actually, and it's intense. It's very intense. So you can just put a little bit of that right on scar tissue or keloids. If it burns, you can always mix it with like a coconut oil or an olive oil squalene or something like that. But absolutely, it works. Yes.
It really does. It really does. And I love it. I love the way it smells. It's very energizing and calming both at the same time. It puts you in that very kind of Zen place where you're like, ah. And I love that about it too. It's one of the things I really love about essential oils is not for nothing else. We all know that certain smells can really affect our mood. Put it in your hands and just smell it, and it can make all the difference in your mood in a day to just put you on the right path for a great day.
I love that. All right. Well, we're coming down to a half an hour. Good on us. I know it's getting late for some of us on Eastern Standard, but here's the thing, you guys. Thank you, Kiona, so much for sharing some of your great stuff. And to celebrate some of Kiona's tips, tomorrow you're going to get a newsletter if you're on our newsletter subscription with a great article with all these tips plus some more that Kiona wrote. You'll have a link so that you can go to our website on a blog post and read all about it. And from now until through Sunday, T-Tapp is giving us a 25% discount off of 3 different bundles of the Skin Saver system. So on the regular the regular skin brushing system, off of skin brushing plus the Skin Saver package. And if you really want to go for it, those 2 packages plus the Blow Your Buns. And Kiona has kindly put together also a digital recorded class package with some of her favorite workouts that really help on legs, on the whole body, helping with blood sugar control, really lymphatic. Ki, you want to talk about that real quickly? Tell us what.
Really quick. So I was originally intending on doing just 4 little classes in there, 3 one-hour classes focusing on what I call energy camp, which is my version of how to really move the lymph. I was going to do that. I was going to do some long lean legs and like a booty camp or something like that. Fate sometimes has other plans for us, and I was not able to get the legs on there, but I was able to get belly camp on there. So really looking at cinching in, tightening, and toning. And another lovely class that I taught, and these are all live recordings of my Timonium workout class in the Baltimore area. Like I said, one of my students is probably listening right now because I was talking about this Monday night to my class. And the other one is what I call a twist on T-Tapp, One of the things for those of us like myself who have this extra hip button thigh thing going on is if we learn to, instead of push our knees out, to rotate out from the hip, it really starts to cinch in and pull those saddlebags in that target area of concern. So what I did was I created an entire class around an idea of adding extra twist to our movements. It's called Twists on T-Tapp. It's in there. And then I actually was able to find in my archives a 25-minute energy camp workout. So for people that don't have a lot of time, I threw that in there as a bonus. And then there's a 5-minute version of the energy camp when you really need to just get up and go, get your energy, or eat, cheat, and get away with it. All of them are focused on 5 minutes. How do I move my lymph? So different than what's in the cellulite system, but this is a great one to add with your brushing routine first thing in the morning. And that is also on this sale for the next several days as well, to give everybody everything they need.
I love it. I love it. So you guys, you'll go, you can go to the T-Tapp store, and even on the side, it'll say skin bundles, skincare bundles, I think, and it'll be there. You'll get the link. And also, I'm so glad you guys stayed, because are you ready? On top of the 25% off, all of that, if you go right now on the Facebook page on our T-Tapp workout business page, where this is actually being sent, or you can go there whenever you get this, go to our messenger, click the messenger, and just type in the word extra and the word 5, and you're going to get an extra 5% discount off your total order. Yay. Thank you to T-Tapp for that. So again, just go to Messenger, type in extra 5. Now, also, we're going to have a big newsletter that's going to go out tomorrow. You're going to get a link to this, even though you saw it. Link to Kiona's blog post. You'll learn about the 25% off. If you are not currently getting our newsletter and would like to, you can go to that messenger as well and just send us a little message and just say, hey, we'd like the newsletter, and put your email in that you'd like us to send to. And we'll make sure that you get on our email list and get these newsletters, because we got all kinds of great stuff that we are going to send to you. Lots of tips and lots of treats. Kiona, thank you so much. I'm looking over at the comments. I'm not really seeing any more questions. I'm going to give you another second or two, you guys, to give questions. Thanks. We're getting lots of thanks over here, Kiona. I don't know that you can see that, so I just want to make sure. Love it, love it, love it. Somebody said they forgot about circles. Yeah, circles are awesome for brushing.
Yeah. Major thing for sure.
Major thing. All right, you guys, thank you so much. And Kiona, it's been a pleasure. Love you, girl.
Awesome, Renee. Love to you too. Love to everybody out there in internet land, and we will see you soon. Bye.
Bye.